Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Premier announced that he's close to a deal with the Prime Minister on taking over the administration of the carbon charge on fossil fuels for consumers. The effectiveness, Mr. Speaker, of a modest carbon charge for consumers in reducing the consumption of fossil fuels is entirely dependent on whether the revenues are actually used to provide programs to citizens that make it possible for them to insulate their homes, upgrade their heating systems, or gain access to public transportation. Will the Premier earmark the revenue the province will receive from the consumer carbon charge to fund the programs and incentives needed by our citizens so they are able to reduce their energy consumption and lower their costs for home heating and transportation?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you for the question. Mr. Speaker, I guess we have to see if it's going to be accepted or not. We do believe it will be, but we haven't heard officially. I am scheduling a meeting with the Prime Minister, at which time maybe I'll be told then. We have been working with staff continually, I guess, over the last week or two, and after we submitted our proposal to get an update and see where that was going. We expected after the Cabinet was sworn in last week that we would learn early this week, but we haven't. So, given that, we'll hope that yes, it will be accepted, and then following that, the incremental revenue that is achieved from that, it would be the intent that we would find projects that are either through environmental improvements in the area, either to disaster relief funding or flood mitigation efforts, but related to climate activities. That if indeed there's additional revenue that's tied to this, then the idea is for the purpose that it's designed. It's to improve our environmental performance.
The member for Fredericton and Leader of this party.
Monsieur le Président, dans son discours de trône, le Premier ministre dit qu'il va mettre en application le plan d'action de 2016 sur les changements climatiques du Nouveau-Brunswick pour effectuer la transition vers une économie à faible émission de carbone, mais il ne dit pas d'où va provenir l'argent. Le Nouveau-Brunswick va bientôt faire comme les autres provinces du Canada Atlantique et administrer sa propre taxe sur le carbone. Est-ce que le Premier ministre peut s'engager devant cette Assemblée aujourd'hui, spécifiquement à consacrer les revenus de la taxe sur le carbone pour enfin instaurer le plan pour la transition vers une économie à faible émission de carbone et faire en sorte que la population du Nouveau-Brunswick puisse se chauffer à moindre coût et ait accès aux services de transport public dont elle a besoin?
Honourable the Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think the leader of the Green Party added a kind of shopping list there. What I said is that the incremental revenue that we receive, that we want to be sure that we actually receive incremental revenue in this process, is that we have a climate action plan, and the committee for that, is very near forthcoming, and there is a number of policies there. When I go back in terms of thinking of the lists around issues around the home heating and things of that nature, I remember an efficiency NB was in place, and we found where's the biggest bang for the buck here in terms of reducing energy costs, reducing energy consumption, and so just to say, well, we're going to spend X dollars on this doesn't necessarily change that game. And I remember in those days understanding what it meant, and all of the savings identified were theoretical, so nothing that really showed the difference. So I guess my point, Mr. Speaker, and the only point that I want to commit to here to the leader of the Green Party is that anything we spend money on, we're going to get results for it, Mr. Speaker, because that's what we do. Thank you.